Hi there, I'm author Mary Joyce, and today I wanted to share with you just a short piece from my story Maybelle, which appears in Crystal Lake Publishing's Tales from the Lake, Volume 3. Maybelle is a story about old friends, newer foes, and the power of books. I think so many readers have had fantasies about what would happen if they were transported into the worlds of the pages that they have been reading, and I wanted to play with that idea a bit, having that transport into a fantasy world, but where the translation doesn't exactly go as planned. So the reading I'm going to do for you today is near the beginning of the story, and this is when our main character has recently been reunited with a small patchwork bird called Maybelle, and she's about to re-experience the kind of magic Maybelle has to offer. I lower the book to my lap and fish Maybelle out of my pocket. As I study the delicate needlework, still even and tight, I let myself wander through half-formed recollections of our days together. I try to remember how we parted ways, but I'm soon distracted by a stinging pain in my left foot. I flex my toes in discomfort, and only then do I realize my left foot cannot be hurting, because my left foot became dead flesh when it was amputated 15 years ago. I look down at the stump above my ankle, confused. I haven't had phantom pain this intense since right after the fire. I haven't had any phantom pain in years. I swallow and concentrate on the blank space where my foot should be, the sting gradually dissolving into the stuffy air of the library. What do you make of that, Maybelle? I squeeze my fist, expecting the woven softness of patchwork, but feel only my nails digging in against the flesh of my palm. I drop my gaze to the knitting book, where the bird has fallen from my grasp and landed on the page. I cup my hand around her wings, just as my eye catches something in the text. My fingers still pressing Maybelle to the glossy paper, I pause to consider the knitting instructions. I read a handful of words before the world around me shifts. Without warning, I'm pitched forward, the room rocking as if the entire library is nothing more than a small boat in a big storm. The book drops from my lap, and I roll off my seat. I land painlessly on my side, the fall cushioned by something soft. When I push myself onto my hands and knees, I see it's something green, the color of grass. What the? I look around the library, only to discover I'm not in the library anymore. Around me, the grass green expands in all directions, and I get the distinct impression I'm in a peculiar kind of meadow. Overhead stretches a makeshift sky of blue, no cloud in sight to spoil the vibrant effect. But it's all wrong. The grass, the sky. I grip the green beneath my hand, my fingers sliding into evenly spaced holes within the softness. The ground beneath and the sky above are made of knitted yarn. I scan the horizon, taking in the sight of the endless soft landscape like something from an incomplete picture book. When I try to stand, the ground is too soft, as if there's nothing underneath the knitted blanket of green. I slouch into a cross-legged position instead, vaguely aware of 2 ankles, 2 heels, 2 arches curving up towards 10 wriggling toes. My foot is back, my skin unscarred and full of blood, veins, and feeling. Grasping the beautifully warm flesh of my left foot, I stare dumbfounded at my surreal surroundings until a sound attracts my attention. It's a sweet, singing whistle. Bird song. Maybelle, I mutter with quiet satisfaction, and only after I've said it do I wonder how I know it's the bird. I glance to where the knitting book fell in the tumble between the library and this meadow. The book is beside me, only it's no longer the same book I dropped. I grab it, pulling it onto my lap again. The patchwork bird isn't lying on the page, but when I focus on the text, the trilling birdsong tingles against my fingertips where they grip the book's covers. The words make no sense. There are no letters, no sentences in English or any other language I've ever encountered. Except I have encountered it. As I take in the unfamiliar sight of the black symbols scrawled haphazardly over the page, I'm overcome with the certainty of what to do next. When I was 11, there was a morning spent studying for a geography test before school. I used Maybelle as a bookmark while I hurried to get ready, and before I left, I opened my textbook again, desperate to absorb just one more fact. I read a sentence in my room, and then I found myself spinning into someplace else. I caught my breath, looked around, and found I was by mountains like the ones in my book. Only the formations were made of snow, with rocky caps threatening to crush them. It was like something, had translated the words of the book, but the language got twisted along the way. I sat before the mountains in awe until I heard the birdsong, grabbed the book, read the unreal text, and found myself back at my desk as if nothing had happened. How did I ever forget? My own magic portal, a best friend to transport me to new realities. I read the foreign words of the book in the meadow, even if I can't understand what they are, can't actually identify them as words at all. And when I read, Maybelle's song becomes louder, shriller, my whole body shivering with its vibrations. The sickening motion of somersaulting through a murky sea jerks my limbs and chokes my throat as I'm flung back into the library. Within an instant I return to my seat, the knitting book still in my hands, and the small bird lying in the middle of the page. I pick her up, clench her in my fist, and giggle like a child. There you go. I hope you enjoyed. And if you want to read the rest of the story and see how the fire and Maybelle's past all come together in a bit of a darker way, make sure you check out the whole book, Tales from the Lake Volume 3 by Crystal Lake Publishing. Thanks. Bye.